Hello and welcome. For this yoga practice, you're going to want maybe 3 pillows or some blankets and a block. I've got 2 blankets rolled up and a block. These are going to be to support the shoulders and head. So let's get started. We're going to begin lying down, and you're going to want all those props up near where your head's going to be. You're going to go face down, and you're going to situate 2 same height items, pillows, props, whatever, blocks, whatever, underneath your chest, where the chest and shoulder meet. Now, the third item is for your forehead, so you don't have to smash your nose on the earth. And we'll just rest the arms, however's comfortable. And we'll begin with this restful position as a moment to center attention, to decompress the back, the neck, the mind. So for the next few moments, just try to relax around your head, really let your head rest on what's under your forehead. And relax your shoulders as well. Even your belly can soften and spread into the mat. Just take 1 or 2 more breaths here. You're welcome to stay longer if you'd like. And then you're going to lift your head. Just push that head prop away. Take a hold of one of those items. So just checking my mic there. And slide it so that it's underneath your solar plexus. So that's your rib cage, and it's the front of your rib cage just below your chest. So it should feel like it helps hold you into Sphinx position without so much effort on your back's part. So let that help you be in a more gentle back bend so that the weight is resting on the thing that's underneath you versus just in your arms. And then you're going to just gently tuck your chin so that the back of your neck is long. And then you're going to keep that little bit of tuck, like you're holding a ball underneath your chin, between your chin and your chest. And you're going to slide your head back in space. And this is going to activate the muscles around your upper back. So I'm saying it that way specifically so you don't just jut your chin out and look up, but you can hear my voice makes things sound weird. So keep the chin slightly down, lengthen the back of the neck, slide the head back so that the upper back works behind the heart. Let's take 1 more breath here. And then just turn your head one direction. When it's over there, just nod a few times, just warming up the neck a little bit. And then you can roll the neck over to the other side. Maybe nod yes over there toward the other shoulder. Noticing anywhere that might feel tight or stiff or tense. And then head back to center, slide your hands back and push yourself up to all fours. So you can go ahead and move those other props, all the props, out of the way now. And then when you come to all fours, just take your hands about shoulder width or a little wider and maybe a touch in front of your shoulders. We're going to warm up the wrist now. So just circling the chest over the top of the hands. If this bothers your knees, just unroll one of your blankets and put that over your knees. Circle the other way. So as you lean forward, you're stretching the wrists a little more. And as you go to the side, each side will get each wrist. Now curl your toes under. So moving to the other end of the body so that you're on your toe pads, not your toenails. Sit back, if you can, if your knees can do it, sit right on your heels. If you don't like that, you can always kind of sit upright and lean some weight back. And see if you can stretch out your feet. While your feet are stretching, take the arms out to the side. We're going to raise them to shoulder height. Cross your right elbow over your left. You have 2 choices here, either holding your shoulders or holding your hands in Garudasana, just depends on your flexibility. Either way, you're going to start to move your elbows and arms around now as if you're circling in front of your chest instead of your chest circling in front of your arms. I know you've been on your feet for a while. Don't worry, we're going to get off them soon. Anywhere that you feel gets into a good pocket of stretch for your shoulder, you're welcome to just pause and hold. Maybe take an extra breath. You're going to release your arms. You're going to come up and step forward with your right foot. We'll come back and do the left arm on top in a moment, but for now, right foot forward, release those left toes down. We're going to take that back foot and turn it slightly across the mat. So you're going to be more on a diagonal with your hips. Take your right arm to the inside of your right knee. I'm not mirroring you. This is my right side. You're going to push back with your right hand to just keep pressure against the knee. And at the same time, turn your belly slightly to the left. As you do that, tuck your tail. So it's hard to see in this big long shirt, but we're not sticking the butt out here. You're rooting your tail down so that the belly is lifting, and that's going to get a little more of your hip flexor to stretch. Reach up with your left arm. Again, I'm not mirroring you. Slide those ribs back and lean on over to the right. Just opening up the right side of your body. Sorry, the left side. Yogi's mirroring, that's what we do. I'm not, so it's confusing me. Let's give a full breath here to this side. And then you're going to come up and you're going to take that left hand behind your back. And then again, just move the head over to the right this time. So just a little deeper stretch on that left shoulder. Maybe up into the neck. Good, release that hand. You can take your back knee and put it back to the normal direction, if you will, and just step back with that right foot. Curl the toes under once more. So visit 2 to this toe stretch. Getting those little toes too. And then arms come out and you put the left elbow on top of the right. Again, you can either hold your shoulders or your hands. And we're just giving some time to move the arms around. Move the spine around and get into different parts of the shoulders and the upper body. Anywhere that feels like it needs it, just pause. Give an extra moment or two. Release your arms. Step on forward with that left foot in on lunge. Release the right toes. Turn the right leg. It's kind of on a diagonal across your mat. That's allowing your hips to open to the right. The left arm goes to the inside of the left leg somewhere, probably the knee maybe. Check that you have that little bit of kind of tuck in the pelvis. Starting to get stretch in the hip flexor on the right side perhaps. Twist your chest and belly to the right and reach overhead with your right arm. Start to do a little bit of a side bend over to the left, just keeping that left knee back, a touch. And come on up and take the right hand behind your back. Relax the left arm, tip the head over to the left, moving it as you like. Try to get some more stretch in that right shoulder, maybe the right side of your neck. Okay, release all that. And then this time you're going to take that right foot, you're going to step forward with it and come to the top of your mat. So stand with your feet shoulder to hip width apart in a natural stance with your feet, which means your toes can be turned out maybe a few degrees instead of perfectly rigidly parallel. We'll just pause, imagining that support we had under the solar plexus, helping it draw the ribs slightly back. When you breathe in, reach your arms overhead, that little chin tuck, but start to lift the chest and lift the gaze. And that chin tuck is a reminder that you're not just bending at the neck. Push your hips a touch forward so they're out over the toes. Nice big back bend there. And then on the exhale, bend your knees, send your hips back, push the knees apart so the outer hips work. It's kind of a deep squat, chair pose, just one breath. And then forward bend. Take your hands down to the floor and see if you can get your legs just a little bit straighter. If it's early morning or your legs are pretty tight, you can always keep a micro bend in your knees or even step your feet wider apart. Slide your hands to your shins. Take a breath in. Push into your shins and create some length from your hips to your head, just lifting a little bit in your middle to keep your back supported. Exhale, slide the hands back down, releasing the weight of the head, the neck, and the shoulders. In my case, the hood. Step back with your left foot, nice long stance in a lunge. Bend into the right knee. So holding just temporarily here in this position with the back heel up, back leg straight. And then you're going to turn that back heel on a slight diagonal. Rise up with your torso. Just for a moment, the front leg getting a little straighter, orienting the chest to face mostly forward, even though the hips will be a little bit turned to the left, just because that back heel is down. And then revisiting, drawing the ribs back, drawing the chin in, bend the front leg. Inhale, sweep the arms up. So it's warrior one. Checking that the waist is part of the pose, and that as you elevate the gaze, as you lift and you look up, you're bending in your entire spine. You're not just bending in your neck. Go to the depth in the knee bend that feels safe for your knees, for your hips. It doesn't ping into your back. And then exhale, release the hands. Lean your weight forward, step forward with the left foot. Exhale, pause. Inhale, reach. A gentle back bend. Chair pose, just one breath. Knees push apart so the outer hips work. That's how you don't get as much pain in your low back usually in this pose. Exhale, forward fold. Head and neck, release. Hands to shins. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, elongating the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Right leg steps back. We're going to keep the heel up initially, so the hips can point forward here because they're square with the back heel up. It's just bend into the front knee and get nice and long in that back leg. And then I like to step the foot just a hair forward and then put the heel down on a diagonal. You'll feel that turns the hips out to the right. No worries. Just leave the ground with your hands. You can lift up a little out of the pose by straightening the front leg a touch. The torso, the chest, you're trying to turn that a little bit more toward the front, but the hips are going to purposefully be turning a little to the right. So don't worry if that right hip is turned out or back. Okay, draw the ribs back, tuck the tail, and start to bend the front knee. Inhale, arms go overhead. And you just revisit those pieces. The rib cage is part of the pose. It's not flaring forward. The chin stays slightly tucked so the neck is long. And then you bend so that you're bending in your whole spine. Try to get at least another breath or two in. Warrior one on the second side. And then release your hands, lean forward, step right foot forward next to left. Exhale. Inhale, reach up, back bend if you want to. Exhale, squat. Hold, inhale. Forward bend. Inhale, long spine, hands on the floor or the shins. And this time when you exhale, you're going to step back to plank, the top of a push-up. Take your whole breath to get to the floor. Point your toes. And then peel your spine up into cobra. Again, the chin is gently tucked so the neck is long. So the whole back is bending. Even if you're looking up, it's not just your neck doing that. Lift your hips, push back, and take downward facing dog. Let's count 5 breaths now. My breaths tend to be longer, so if you're done, just put your knees down and come into child's pose. Keep going if you're not done yet with the 5 breaths. And then choose whether you want to finish with just a few moments sitting, or if you would prefer a more traditional finish, which is typically lying down. And this is just time for you to let your body assimilate what it just did, but also to give your mind some space and some quiet before you go about your day. Before you click off, let's take a second to think about what it is that you would like to create or focus on in your day today. Any kind of attitude or energy or whatever comes to mind. And just set that as your intention as you begin to move, to stretch, and to reawaken. If you're lying down, just take your time sitting up. If you're sitting, thank you for joining. Thank you, no matter what, for joining. I hope you have a good one. See you next time.